Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about some of the steps you should take before choosing a sponsoring broker. Now, if you've just taken your real estate licensing exam in your state and you're figuring out what broker to choose, this is the video for you so you can find out what steps you have to take before choosing your broker and what you should be thinking about before you're making that commitment. My name is Dan, and on this channel I want to be talking about personal finance tips, ways you can make more money, and also documenting my process in becoming a licensed real estate agent in New York. As some of you may know, I got laid off a couple months ago, and this is what jump-started and kick-started my journey to become a real estate agent. So hopefully you find these videos helpful, and maybe it'll help influence you or motivate you to become a real estate agent as well. So if you have any questions, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you like the content that I am releasing, then please consider subscribing and liking this video. So I'm just going to jump right into it, guys. And the first step, and the first thing you should do when you're looking for a real estate broker is finding out what market you want to be in. Now, this depends on what kind of real estate you want to get involved in. There are a few categories, and the main ones being commercial real estate, residential real estate, and rentals. Now, commercial is really leasing to a retail store or just a business in general. It's your storefronts, your warehouses, and your office buildings. Residential is pretty obvious. It's going to be your apartments, houses, and then rentals is also pretty obvious. It's just whatever you're, if you want to help people rent out apartments or rent an apartment. Now, this is pretty important because once you've narrowed down what industry you want to get into in terms of commercial or residential, you can figure out which brokers are actually leading the field and are the top producers in that category. Let's say, for example, you want to get into residential. You're going to want to find a broker that holds the top market share in the area that you want to work in, because they're successful in that field and you want to surround yourself with successful agents. The second thing you should look for is also what area you want to work in. Now, this will depend on what state you're getting your license in, but you want to make sure that the broker that you're signing with is actually a pretty well-known broker in the area or in the few towns that you want to sell in. Now, this could be the town that you live in, or it could be an area where you're very interested in getting to know more of. There are a lot of people on Long Island, for example, who want to sell real estate in New York City. So even though they don't live there, they might want to go to New York and practice real estate and selling real estate there. Once you figured out what part of real estate you want to make your transactions in and also what locations you want to practice in, it's time to prioritize your wants and what you want from the broker that you're working for. Now, there are many offices and therefore many brokers you can work under, and it really depends on what you will prioritize. A lot of people, when choosing their broker, will decide based on what the splits and what the fees are from the office and the broker that they're working for. Now, on the lower end, it could be a 50-50 split between yourself and the broker. But for new agents like me, and if you're a new agent as well, it's not that important to choose based on the split. It's more important to be in an environment that you're going to succeed in, and be in an environment where people and the manager there will help put their time and effort into you and try to make you the best agent that you can be so you can be successful in the future. Always keep in mind that you can always change brokerages. Now, the other things you should consider when choosing a broker can vary quite a bit. It can really depend on if you want to work with a team, and depending on if the brokerage and the office that you want to work for, if they offer teams, maybe they offer mentorship, and you might even want to consider if the office culture is right for you. Now, once you figured out what industry and what area of real estate you want to practice in, and also what you want to prioritize in terms of the brokers, it's time to actually look online and do your due diligence and do some research. You should be able to go online and look on websites like Zillow and Realtor.com, and there you can actually find specific agents, specific brokers, and you can even do your research on the actual brokerages with the name brands like Keller Williams and Coach Realtors and Compass. Do your research for each individual office, because each office is actually very different. For example, if there are 5 different Compass offices, each office actually operates kind of on its own. It really depends on who the manager is there, and that sets the tone for that office. So what you're going to do is actually go on Google or go on any review website such as Zillow or Realtor again, and see what the people are saying about that office, especially the agents that are working there. And what you can actually do, and what I did was, once you find those agents that work in that office, you can actually contact them through Zillow, because you'll have an option to actually email them directly or call them directly, and you can actually speak with them to see if that office is, the kind of office that you want to work in. Now, hopefully, by following these few steps, you're able to narrow down, 3 or 4 brokers and offices that you think might fit your needs and your wants. So once you've narrowed down these 3 or 4 offices, or more, maybe 5 or 6, now it's actually time to call the office and schedule an interview. Now, it's really important for you to actually schedule the interview with them, so you can sit in at the office, meet the manager, meet the people that you'll be working with and interacting with on a day-to-day basis, so you can get the best feel about the office and then if it's right for you. It's important that you actually ask these questions and you have them give examples and maybe show you around, and prove that what they're saying isn't actually just a marketing ploy to get you to join. Make sure that they're speaking the truth, and hopefully you'll find the best brokerage for you after you interview them. After you interview a couple of brokerages, you're going to be able to compare and contrast each brokerage and kind of get a good feel of which one's best for you. And if all else fails, you have your gut feeling. I'm just going to give you a little example and what I did in terms of finding brokerages to interview with and for. I live on Long Island, so I knew that I wanted to practice real estate and selling real estate on Long Island, especially in Nassau County. I didn't want to be too far from my hometown of Merrick, but I didn't want to restrict myself with only working with offices and real estate brokerages that were only in Merrick. I wanted to be able to sell real estate all over Long Island, perhaps even in New York City. Now, being an Asian American, I wanted to be able to help other Asian Americans and Asian families that were moving to Long Island and help them find a home. So the importance for me there was also finding an office that was diverse and also knew the ins and outs of Long Island and had other Chinese and Cantonese and Mandarin speaking agents working there, so I could actually work under them and learn from them. Now, other than that, I wanted to be working at an office where it was more of a luxury feel, an office where I'll be kind of proud or happy to bring my clients to. I didn't want to bring them to an office that was kind of like run down and not really a professional feel to it. So definitely wanted an office that had a more professional feel. And the last thing that was important for me too was also finding offices that had good culture in terms of the agents being happy to help out a new agent and perhaps giving you leads or giving you advice, at any time, and not just agents who are just kept to themselves and are greedy or just didn't want to share whatever they had and let you kind of suffer. That's not the environment that I wanted to work in. Even though agents, we're all working against each other, still wanted to be in an environment where the agents are happy to share their wealth of knowledge, or at least some of it, to a new agent like me. So that's it, guys. Those are the things that you should be searching for and finding out before looking at brokerages to work for. And just to recap, number 1, you should figure out what market you want to be in terms of if it's selling or buying commercial real estate, residential real estate, or if you want to do rentals. The next is finding out the actual location you want to work in, which is a city or town or area that you're most familiar with, most comfortable with, or just want to explore the most. And third is actually prioritizing what kind of needs and wants you want from your office. It could be a good split, it could be a good culture, or just a good environment to work in. And number 4 is doing your research, going online and doing your due diligence and finding out which offices actually offer those things that you prioritize. Once you figure that out, you should narrow it down to about 4 or 5 brokerages that fit those needs and wants, and then go interview with them. Make sure you actually interview in person and look around their office and speak to as many agents as possible in their office. Once you've done that, you should be able to kind of go from there and go with your gut and just figure out which office is right for you. So right now I'm in the process of actually interviewing with a couple of brokerages, and in about a week or 2 I should be able to update you with what brokerage and what office I'm going to eventually work for. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and learned a few things about becoming a real estate agent. If you want to see more content like this, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, and I will hope to see you in the next video.